Hello, beautiful people. Today is 16th of August. My name is Sahil and welcome to Newspaper Analysis. Friends, today in GS Folder, we'll take a quote from the Joichi Ito, who's a Japanese thinker and an entrepreneur. He says, if we destroy human rights and rule of law in the name of fighting terrorism, they have won. Now, guys, in order to understand this thing, we need to understand the constituents of the terrorism. Now, terrorism is a phenomena whereby certain groups they intend to invoke terror or fear into the group of people in order to leave imprint of their ideology. Now, guys, many a times state in order to kill terrorism imposes a situation where human rights are denied, where genuine development is denied, and all such entitlements are denied. And anyhow, this situation is also instilling a terrorism into the minds of the citizens. And guys, the same objective which the terror organization had to perform, it is being performed by the state. So guys, around the world it has been seen that many a times in order to control the insurgency, such kind of consequences are observed. So guys, we need to rethink that what is the response towards the terrorism and how such a response is justified or unjustified. Now guys, this is very actually very good, can be used into the essays with respect to the internal security threats, can be used into the GS3 as a prescription of bringing the development is by genuine human developmental effort. So that's it, guys. And now let's take the newspaper analysis. Guys, first of all, let's take the overview of the entire newspaper first. So here we can see that Prime Minister has addressed the nation on 15th of August and some key announcements have been made. So with respect to the exam, we will see that what announcements have been made. Then guys, if you are into the cricket, you can see here that the MS Dhoni has declared his retirement. So guys, just a thing, not important that much for our exam. Then moving forward onto the city page also, the Independence Day etc. has been mentioned. Then guys, moving forward, here we can see that Odisha government is starting the Shiksha Sampark Yojana. So we'll see how we can use it into the exam. Then guys, moving forward, not nothing much important news has been given here, only the regional news. Then guys, here, enact a law to bar criminals from the elections. High court has given some directions to the central government with respect to the criminalization of politics. We'll see the issues that have been taken here. Then guys, USA has handed back some Indian idols to the back India. These are some very ancient idols which have been stolen. One idol is about the Shiva and Parvati and other idol is of Apsara. Guys, then here we can see that government might review the age of marriage. Then digital health mission will liberate citizens. After that, guys, onto the international front, now Nepal is trying to engage back with the India, so we'll see the implications of this particular thing. Then guys, here you can see there are certain shortcomings into the chemical industry sector in our country, so we'll see the issues associated here. Then guys, moving forward, so power of suo motu is inherent in Supreme Court with respect to the contempt it has been told about. We'll see the issues which have talked about. Then guys, here, just if you remember, 2 days back we discussed that Arunachal Pradesh wants more autonomy. So in that particular thing, a panel has been formed. However, concrete nothing has came out of it. Then guys, moving forward onto the world page, the US election etc. are going on. Then guys, onto the business page, nothing that much important with respect to our exam. However, on science and tech age, if we come today, then guys, first news is about the T cell immunity into the COVID-19 disease. Guys, as I told you earlier, until something substantial or breakthrough will be coming, you don't need to read these studies because every day they are coming. Then guys, some black hole merger has been discussed here, so with respect to that we'll see the issues. Then guys, the observational learning into the child has been talked about. Then guys, here, the hurdles in Naga peace, it talks about the Naga peace plan which is going on in Nagaland. Then Israel UAE pact has been discussed here. Then here it talks about the women's right to property. Then guys, moving forward, nothing important has been given. Then sports page also, the important news with respect to the UPSC are not there. So that's it. And now let's take the newspaper analysis in detail. Now guys, starting up, so here we can see that yesterday, on to the occasion of Independence Day, Prime Minister made a speech from the Red Fort, and apart from enlisting the achievements done into the past years, the Prime Minister also highlighted certain of the reforms that will be going up. Now, first of all, I will tell you broadly that what are the major highlights which we can use in our exam, and then we will analyze them. So, first is the Prime Minister has said that there will be the launch of National Digital Health Mission, which is also called as the Digital Health ID. After that, it has been said that the optical fiber program will be extended to 6 lakh villages. After that, the third one is that there is also reconsideration with respect to the age of marriage for the girls. Then the new cyber security policy 2020 will be coming. After that, there will be the expansion of the NCC, that is the National Cadet Corps. And then there is the mention of the sanitary pads into the speech of the Prime Minister, which makes him the first Prime Minister to talk on such a sensitive subject. Now, guys are taking up the issues one by one. So, first, talking about the digital health ID. So, guys, into a lifespan of a typical person, he gets infected by some disease, then he goes for its diagnostics. After that, he takes some pathological reports for that, then he takes a course of treatment. Now, if the person gets infected by some other disease, then it is better if he can produce all the medical history that he had encountered, but it is usually missing. And as the pandemic had started, it had all even more highlighted that there is a need to have strong health system data management. So now the government has conceptualized that every Indian will be given a health identity, and this health identity will be having a digital backup of all the medical history reports, diagnostics, treatment that a person has been taken. And by such information, doctors will be able to provide a better course of treatment, and therefore it will enhance the health standards of the citizens. Now, guys, if we talk about this particular initiative, then there is some background also. See, in 2017, the national health policy came, and this policy suggested that there should be national digital health authority. After that, guys, Satyanarayan Committee provided the National Digital Health Blueprint in 2019, and finally we see all this culminated into the National Digital Health Mission, which had came, and the health ID, which is being talked about. Further, it has been said that this entire thing will be implemented by the National Health Agency, which is the same agency which also implements Ayushman Bharat Abhiyan or the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Abhiyan. So it will be implementing this thing. Moreover, guys, it has also been said that all people who wish to avail the government health facilities, they need to connect their health ID with their Aadhaar card. So, guys, that's all about this particular initiative. Then coming to the next one, that is the optical fiber program. Now, guys, see, in 2011, government started with the National Optical Fiber Network, which aimed to provide fiber connectivity to the block level, district level, and even to the panchayat level, and aimed that 69% of the rural population will be provided the fiber internet connectivity. Now, guys, as the government changed, government renamed this project to the Bharat Net project, under which it was taken a target that 2.5 lakh gram panchayats will be connected with the fiber internet connectivity. Now, this entire project was to be taken in two phases. The phase number one started in 2014, and the initial target of connecting 1 lakh panchayats was taken, and it has been successfully completed and even overachieved the target. Then, guys, into the final phase, that is the phase 2, the total 2.5 lakh were to be connected. And now here government has announced that not only 2.5 lakh gram panchayats, rather the 6 lakh villages will be connected under the BharatNet project with the fiber internet connectivity. Now, guys, this is a very good thing, a very ambitious target, but there are certain issues also. First of all, when we talk about the phase 2, then it was to be started in March 2020, but due to the uncertainties, economic uncertainties, etc., it has already been extended that it will be started from the August 2021. After that, guys, the Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited is till now not able to find a bidder who will maintain this optical fiber network. And the problem is because government is going very much against the Chinese service providers, and we know into the digital component, into the connectivity component, the things can't be done without the Chinese equipment. So therefore bidders are not coming forward because they are not confident that they can do all this work without the Chinese components. So BharatNet actually onto the ground is facing certain kind of issues, but guys, still the ambition is good that it will be extended, and if this thing is done, then there will be huge benefits which will be coming to rural areas. As we know that the rural areas have became physically independent but not digitally independent, and in that particular direction it will be helpful thing. So that's it. Now, guys, coming to the next one, that is the age of marriage for the girls. Now, guys, in India, there are two acts. One is the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, and other is the Special Marriage Act 1954, which lays the age for the marriage. And here it has been said that the age for the bride needs to be 18 years, where the age for the groom needs to be 21 years. Now, the issue is that this particular notion of 18 years and 21 years is based onto the stereotypes. Number one, that girls get matured earlier than the boys, and second is that always a groom needs a younger life partner. And because of this stereotypes, a sociological equality between the men and women is being disturbed, number one. And after that, International Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, it clearly says that all the laws should be abolished that assume women have a different physical or intellectual rate of growth than the man, because it is responsible to large number of social evils. And thirdly, guys, what happens in India, we see that there are high number of IMR and MMR. It is because that often women go into the pregnancy into the tender age, and it has been said that better reproductive health will be attained if the marriageable age will be pushed little bit onto the upper side. And even it has been provided into a Lancet report that the adolescent mothers who give birth, they, if there is more probability that they will give birth to the stunted children when compared them to the mothers giving birth into the adult age. So guys, when mothers will give birth into the adult age, when the marriageable age will be extended further. Moreover, due to this particular notion, what happens many a times, girls also need to leave their higher education just to get married. So all these notions will be shattered once this particular age will be pushed. However, guys, there is one counter on to this particular thing also. So friends, there is a national coalition which is made up of 21 NGOs who all talks about the protection of the girls' rights. And just last month they had submitted that if government is just thinking to increase the legal age for marriage, it will not be bringing any help. Rather, it will just artificially increase the number of married people who are underage, and it will criminalize them. And even the underage married girls, they will just be considered a kind of an offenders, and the legal protections will be lost to them. So therefore it has been said that rather government should bring other kind of opportunities where the education, health outcomes, opportunities, etc. should be enhanced. Then, guys, talking about the new cyber security policy 2020. So right now there is the National Cyber Security Policy 2013, which came into the aftermath of the revelation by the whistleblower Edward Snowden, who said that the USA is spying onto the Indian cyber regime. Then guys, the problem is that this particular act has been inadequate, and even there are rising incidents of the cyber intrusion. For example, in 2019 it was found that accounts of 121 Indians WhatsApp accounts were hacked by a Israeli cyber firm. Moreover, guys, apart from this, also, as we are moving towards the cloud computing, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, 5G, so there will be the even new challenges which will be coming. So, therefore, it has been decided that our National Cyber Security Strategy 2020 has to come out, and on this particular thing, even the feedback from the public has also been asked by the National Security Council Secretariat. So guys, this particular things will be helping to make us 4G revolution ready. Then guys, the next is the expansion of NCC. Now guys, see, there are nearly 14 lakh cadets into NCC. 1/3 of them are the girls, and these cadets are given the basic military training and are given a basic academic curriculum with respect to the basics of the armed forces and their functioning. And we have the largest search force into the world, and even they had played very important role into the times of adversary. For example, during the present pandemic, nearly 60,000 plus cadets have given their services for the nation. Now guys, this is a force which should be leveraged even more. And guys, in this particular direction, the Shaketkar committee onto the defense reforms had also suggested that the strength of the cadets need to be enhanced. At least we should go up to 15 lakh cadet strength. And therefore, on such recommendations, now government has stated that 1 lakh additional troops will be enrolled into the NCC, and this enhancement will particularly made from the coastal region and the border regions. And in this 1 lakh plus extra cadets, it has been said that 1/3 cadets need to be girls. Moreover, guys, it has been said that into the coastal regions, the navy will be taking the responsibility to training them, whereas into the border regions, the army will be taking the responsibility to training them. However, wherever there are air bases, the air force can also play its role. After that, friends, there is also the mention of the sanitary pads into the speech of Prime Minister, which shows that now the taboos are to be broken, as we had seen that so many girls are suffering on to the account of non-awareness of the menstrual health, and that is because there are the taboos associated around these subjects. So such a thing will set a precedence, and people will now be coming more forward to talk on these kind of things. So it is a symbolism. However, it has been said by the Prime Minister that by the help of Jan Aushadhi Kendras, more than 5 crore sanitary pads have been dispensed at a subsidized rate, that is rupee 1 for every sanitary pad. So guys, this is also a very good achievement, and you can also use it as a reference with respect to the menstrual hygiene, as what step government is taking. So it is delivering them via the Jan Aushadhi Kendras. So guys, that's all about this particular issues. A large number of reforms have came. They could be asked into your exam. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now friends, here we can see a very good initiative by the Odisha government, where the government has started the Shiksha Sampark Yojana. See, if we talk about the state of Odisha, then there are 60 lakh students, but right now only 22 lakh students are receiving the education. Why? Because seeing the socio-economic standards, there are large number of students which either don't have the physical digital devices, or they don't have the mobile connectivity, electricity connection, etc. And such a problem is not only into the Odisha, rather it is into almost all the states of our country. So therefore, what Odisha government has done, under the Shiksha Sampark Yojana, it will be sending the teachers to the villages which have a weak cellular connectivity, and these teachers will be taking the small groups of children and will be teaching them, preferably a group twice in a week. And therefore, by such a particular way, the actually state is reaching the citizens, particularly the students. And this particular thing is actually a very good initiative onto the part of ease of living and the good governance initiative, and can be used readily into the GS paper number 2. Moreover, as we know that this is the time and there are more than 6 months that these students are not reaching the formal education, and this is the cognitive loss which is going on. So by this particular thing, some of that loss can also be plugged up. So it is a very good initiative. So guys, that's it. Just for a reference or example we can use it. And now we'll move to next. Now, guys, this particular article pertains to a very serious issue, that is the criminalization of politics in India. Now, guys, see, if we talk about the politics, then onto the ethical grounds, the legislator needs to be a model citizen so that other people can learn the values from it, and a kind of surajya can come, as because when there will be the surajya, only then there can be the swaraj. Moreover, even onto the logical grounds, a person of integrity, a person of economic integrity, political integrity will able to take the rational and logical decisions without any fear or favor. But guys, on contrary, if we see the ground reality, then conditions are something different. According to the Association of Democratic Reforms, if we see the data from the elections of 2019 Lok Sabha, then we can find that 43% of the legislators in Lok Sabha, they have declared criminal cases, and 29% of them have very serious criminal charges. And because of such kind of thing, the criminalization of politics have taken place, where the citizens are suffering, and there is no law which prohibits the people with criminal background to contest the election. So therefore guys, Madras High Court has asked the center government that it needs to file a response that why it is not bringing any law to prohibit the people with criminal background to contest the elections at the assembly level, parliament level, and the local body level. And now guys, this particular episode we can write into the answers with respect to the GS paper number 2 electoral reforms. Now guys, many a times it has been said that deliberately the frivolent cases are filed onto the legislators, and if such a law will come, then certain innocent people will be disbarred from the electoral process, which is the most important thing into a democracy. But guys, there could be a counter argument also that okay, even if such a law cannot come, then there could be the fast track courts which are specifically designed to deal the cases relating to the legislators, so that into the record time it could be found out that whether they are actually guilty or not. Moreover, apart from that also, okay, or not onto the kind of a charges we can disbar, but even if the charges are framed, then they could be disbarred. So in that particular direction, actually the reform is very long awaited, and we need to see that what government takes the move here. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now, guys, just a quick update here. We can see that now the Prime Minister of Nepal, KP Sharma Oli, has personally congratulated to the Prime Minister onto the occasion of Independence Day, and had also said that India and Nepal seeks a meaningful bilateral ties. Now, this entire issue is coming into the aftermath of the Constitutional Amendment Act into the Nepal, in which Nepal adopted a new constitution, and this particular additional territory was claimed by Nepal, which had Limpiadhura, Lipu Lake, and Kala Pani. Now, this particular move came in retaliation when India constructed a new road connecting to the Lipu Lake, where the holy shrine of Kedarnath is located. And guys, as this new road was constructed, Nepal said that it is an intrusion into their territory, as according to the Treaty of Sugoli, the territory belongs to the Nepal. However, guys, India's version was different in this particular regard, and as a round of confrontation, this new map was released. And after that, the relations between both the countries were not on to very good ground. But now, as the ice has been broken by the Nepalese Prime Minister, we can look forward to have a meaningful relationship. And guys, even according to the first principle of Gujarat doctrine, given by the former Prime Minister Indra Kumar Gujral, it has been said that in terms of never, India should have a big heart and should give all into the good faith and trust. Now, guys, this particular thing is a little bit true also, because the neighbors are the first wall of defense, and as we are having a kind of a bad relation with China, the Nepal's support is very much crucial. So therefore it could be a new start into the ongoing uncertainties into the neighborhood. So that's it, friends, and now we'll move to next. Now, guys, this particular news talks about the state of health of the chemical industry in India, which supports the drug industry in return. Now, guys, in last few days, we had talked so much about the Atmanirbharta, where government wants to move from make in India to make for the world, and there are certain now challenges which are coming. Now, according to Union Science Ministry's think tank TIFAC, that is a Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council, it has been said that our chemical sector has huge shortcomings. There is no updated technology, plant machinery is not there. Simply, infrastructural shortcomings are too much huge, and even there is the polluting tendency into the chemical industry, and therefore the solvent and chemical manufacturing cost in India are very much higher, approximately 15% more than China, and it will directly impact the pharmaceutical sector of India. As we are the largest generic manufacturer of the world, our competitiveness will be impacted if the chemical industry will not be strong. Now, guys, it has been said that with respect to the development of the API, that is the active pharmaceutical ingredients, there is nearly 100% dependence for hydroxychloroquine on China, and dependence of up to the tune of 67% for other API have been noted, and the dependence is on China, US, and other such countries. Moreover, even whatever API was being manufactured in India, that has also came substantially down due to the lockdown which was imposed, and therefore the problems are very serious. Now, guys, even according to a report by the KPMG, it has been said that India's share into the global export for the generic drug has also come substantially down. In 2018, 20% of the global generic drug export was made in India, and it is very less compared to 48% that India was making in 2008. So there is high time that the chemical industry needs to be revived, and in this particular direction government should look to invest into initiatives such as the biotechnology parks. After that, there should be the tax holidays for the industries manufacturing the critical chemical compounds. Then, guys, with the proper implementation of the skill India, etc., there needs to be supply of enough of the human resource power. Fourthly, guys, the inverted duty structure needs to be corrected. Now, inverted duty structure means that many a times there is more taxes and more import duties onto the different components than onto the entire finished goods. So what happen, we tend to import the entire product. Now, guys, this inverted duty structure prevails into the capital goods which are used for the manufacturing of the drugs and other chemicals, as well as into the other components. So therefore, right now, the kind of steps are needed to be taken in this particular direction. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now, guys, this particular article pertains to the power of Supreme Court with respect to the contempt of a court. So, yesterday, if you remember, we had seen this issue where the Supreme Court had given the final judgment into the contempt charges over the lawyer Prashant Bhushan. Now, then, guys, an issue comes that do Supreme Court require the approval of the Attorney General of India before filing the contempt charge on any individual, or can it do it onto the suo motu basis? So Supreme Court had said that under article number 129, clearly the power of contempt has been given to the Supreme Court, and therefore Supreme Court is not required to take the prior consent from the Attorney General of India, and can by its own initiative can pursue the charges. Now, guys, see, there is a Contempt of Court Act 1971, but it has been said by Supreme Court that it is just there to mention the procedural aspects, and the ultimate power still lies into the Supreme Court's hands. So guys, just keep this particular thing in mind as a concept of our polity. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now, friends, this particular article pertains to an event of a black hole whisper which was observed 50 years ago. Now, guys, this article is containing some memories of a scientist C.V. Vishweshwara, and he is just reminiscing that how he noted them 50 years ago, and now today the same things are being affirmed by the modern theories, and even the LIGO has proved the same thing. Now, guys, into the article, much relevance with respect to UPSC is not there, but with respect to gravitational waves it is talking about. So for that particular thing, this article is important for our exam, as we will understand the phenomena of the gravitational waves. But guys, before going directly into this topic, I will explain you some other concepts which could be important independently and will also help you to understand this topic into the better manner. Now guys, with respect to the space, there are large number of theories, and one of the most prominent and respectable theory is given by the Albert Einstein, which is called as the space-time curvature or space-time fabric. Now, usually when you see the universe or when you perceive the universe, you perceive it as a kind of a empty space. But no, it is not like this. According to Einstein, this entire universe is just kind of a fabric. Here you can see this thick fabric, and this fabric is made up of two things. One is space and other is time. And on this fabric, everything is just like it is kept on this fabric. For example, you can see that here is sun, here it is earth. So you, me, everything is just kept on this fabric. Now friends, let's understand the concept of gravity. Now guys, suppose on a bed sheet a glass of water is kept, and as you will come and sit on this bed sheet, what will happen? Obviously your mass is big, you will be making exerting more of a kind of a pressure on this fabric, and due to this thing the glass will fall towards your side. So guys, same way there are different bigger mass bodies, they are exerting different pressure on this fabric. For example, this is the sun, it is exerting some pressure, and because of this pressure the earth will be pulled towards the sun. And guys, this pulling force is nothing but the gravity. We know this thing that a body, if it is having more of a mass, then gravitational pull will be more. So guys, because the sun is having more mass, it is exerting more pressure onto this curvature, and because of this particular thing earth is getting pulled towards the sun. So guys, this was one concept. Now understand one more thing. As it is a giant sheet, if there will be any activity in any of the part, then the impact will be felt into the other part. If it will be here, the impact will be felt here. Now, guys, see, whenever some black holes merge or there is the collapse of a black hole, obviously this is activity which will produce immense of energy. Then what will happen? The kind of an activity will also be noted onto the space-time curvature, and this particular thing can be noted. And guys, basically it this activity is nothing but a distortion into the gravity, and therefore they are also called as the gravitational waves. And now guys, for this particular thing we need the big observatories which can observe some distortion which had happened. And when you hear about the LIGO observatory, then what LIGO is doing, LIGO is actually capturing these movements into the space time curvature. And now guys, coming to the present article, this article says that 50 years ago the scientist CV Vishweshwaraya noted an event where the black hole whispers were heard, and he noted that the gravitational waves have been created which had created a kind of a disturbance. But at that point of time nobody actually believed that particular thing, because there the theory of black holes itself was not that much proven. But now as the LIGO had actually affirmed that the black holes do merge, they do create activity, and that activity is noted because it creates the gravitational waves. Now these things are being accepted, so his account has been mentioned here. Now guys, that particular thing is not that much important, rather this phenomena is much more important. I hope you have understood this particular thing. Now guys, this basically, into the article it has been said that he noted the observer with singular black hole also. So when there is activity in only one black hole, again there could be the generation of the gravitational waves. That is one thing. Now guys, if you are following regularly, few days back we had seen one more article where we saw that two black holes with unequal masses also merged, and there were some other kind of gravitational waves developed. Just as a reminder, friends, the project which is looking for the gravitational waves, the popular one in the US, is called as LIGO, which stands for Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. Guys, there are two LIGO observatories in USA. One is in one is Hanford, it is in Washington, and other is Livingston, it is in Louisiana. So there are two in US, and now the LIGO is establishing one more facility, and this will be the first facility which is outside the USA. And guys, the LIGO India, also called as Indigo or LIGO India, is being installed into the Hingoli in Maharashtra. So guys, the collaboration is being done between the USA, UK, Australia, and Germany on the international front. And in India, it is the Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Space and Technology, which will be piloting the project. And apart from them, assistance will also be provided by the Indian research institutions, such as the number one will be the Institute of Plasma Research, which is in Gandhinagar. Then there is Inter University Center of Astronomy and Astrophysics, which is in Pune. And the third is the Raja Raman Center for Advanced Technology, Indore. So this is all about Indigo. Now, friends, though LIGO is the most powerful one, but there are other such observatories also. For example, there is a GEO in Germany, Virgo in Italy, Kagra in Japan. So, guys, please remember all these things important for prelims because such questions are now being asked. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now, friends, the theme in this particular article is that children are very observant and they should be provided opportunities by which they can observe the phenomena going in nature. Now, guys, this article contains a part of an excerpt or a speech from the noted speaker Professor Alberts. So, in half of the article, the writer is just writing that how fond he is of the Professor Albert. That is not important for our exam. However, the exam relevant things are after the half of the article. Now, guys, in the article, one experiment has been written about, that is, into the US, the students were asked that they should walk into the ground with only with their socks, and after that, they should note the fragments which have attached onto the socks, and they need to tell by observing them under a microscope that which of them are the seeds and which of them are just the dirt particle. Now, guys, to the students, the $1 microscope was provided, which was invented by the University of Stanford, and by observing, they concluded their findings. So, guys, it has been said that as it was done here into the US, onto the similar lines in India, also such observational based thinking should be imbibed into the student. And in this particular direction, one very good initiative has also been talked about. Here it has been said that Department of Biotechnology is already collaborating with certain external partners and is procuring such low cost microscopes, and such things will be given to the students so that they can learn by observation. And as the new education policy 2020 has came, and as it talks about instilling the real life skills, such kind of initiatives are noted. Moreover, guys, it has also been said that in India we have a huge pool of the NGOs, and these NGOs are working as how better learning outcomes can be imbibed into the student, how the sciences can be popularized. So therefore these groups can also be used to conduct such kind of experiments among the children. and media can also play an important role in popularizing such kind of practices. Moreover guys, as we have brought 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 curriculum, and as educational reforms are being carried, such kind of observational learning should also be prompted into the children. So guys, that's all about this particular article, and now we'll move to next. Now, guys, we are onto the FAQ page, and every week FAQ contains the articles, the summary of the articles which have came into the past. However, already all these articles we have done into much greater details, and particularly with the UPSC orientation. Now, this article is about the women's right to property. So, in that particular direction, the Supreme Court just recently gave the judgment, and on 12th August at this particular timestamp, we had seen from 1955 as till now what changes have been made. After that guys, this particular article talks about the Naga peace deal. So from that thing also we had seen that what is the dispute of the NSCN which is going on, and how the present governor of Nagaland is becoming a bone of contention. So that thing has been covered. Then guys, this particular article talks about the Israel UAE pact. Already just yesterday we had seen not only this pact but also the background with respect to the West Bank's accession, how West Bank and Israel relations were formed, etc., and the situation or the stand of the India also. So friends, you can refer them here, and I think that we should not waste our time into the same kind of repetition. Moreover guys, I will also advise you that into the episodic events such as these, until and unless some new changes comes, please don't read any new material, because that is not at all helping you, because at the end of the day only 150 to 200 words you need to write into your answer copies. So guys, that's it, and now we'll move to the question section. Guys, please pause the video and try to answer the questions. So first question is with respect to the polity. Please consider these statement and identify the correct code. Question number 2 is with respect to the Tribal Health and Nutritional Portal. Please consider the statement and identify the incorrect code. Question number 3 is with respect to the sixth schedule and related issues. Please read this statement and identify the correct code. Question number 4 is with respect to the Greater Male Connectivity Project which has been in news. Please read the statement and choose the correct code. So guys, that's it for today, and as you know today is Sunday, so there will be no mains question. So that's it. I hope you are liking our discussion. Thank you so much.